Okay, this is part 2. And I'm just going to sim a match and let the computer fight. Barf the Caveman and Rambo versus, well, you just choose what we got here. Dr. Payne and Beach Bum Barney. And we'll use these setup moves here. Now maybe I can talk about this game some more. What I can remember. Look at these cool intros too. See, some people could argue and say, oh, this came out when the NES was already out. But look but look at the hardware itself, though. You know, the Intellivision versus the NES. And you could argue this is as good as any wrestling game on the NES. Using an older system, but just pushing it to the max. Before my controllers broke on my original Intellivision, and even after my controllers stopped working, I was simming matches all the time. I had 2 different top 10 lists. I had like a top 10 of my favorite WWF wrestlers and a top 10 of my favorite NWA/WCW wrestlers. And I probably had each one of these wrestlers as one of them. Like Beach Bum Barney with Hogan, Vic Vicious with Sid, and so forth and so forth. I did that a lot back then. Ooh, chest smash. Who's gonna win this epic battle? Come on, Hogan. I want to see the leg drop. The computer's wrestling better than me. You get to see more of the game this way. Oh, and thank you, C-Mart. Thank you so much, C-Mart, once again, for this fine gift. This mega gift. Or I wouldn't be playing this right now. Well, actually, I could play it on my Intellivision Lives collection, but it's just not the same. It's not the same as owning the actual cart. And the control, it'd be harder to control. But for those out there who don't have an Intellivision, or can't get a hold of this game, you can play this on the Intellivision Lives. It's just a bit tricky, because you have to do like 1 through 9, or plus the 0, possibly with the with one of the analog sticks. That's difficult. Trying to use that as like a clock, like 1 through 9 in the different directions. Good luck with that. The Mega Leap gets you out of trouble. Drop kick. Computer abuses some of these moves, like the Mega Leap, the duck and cover. Ooh, cross chop. That was fancy. Mega Leap into a cross chop. Ooh, power kick to the outside. Brain buster. Quick jab. I think they both probably have the same moveset. They're evenly matched. Backbreaker. Tag! No, it wasn't. I thought it was going to go tag. Try to go to the top rope. Ooh, pile driver. Oh, round over. Ooh, the spin heave to the outside. Yeah, on my original Intellivision Model 2, the controllers eventually broke on me. The side buttons started getting jammed in, and I wasn't smart enough to learn how to fix it. I'm not sure if I could have fixed it or not. And this was at a time that Toys R Us had just stopped selling Intellivision stuff. This was long before the internet. Long before the internet, long before eBay. And I don't think we ever went to thrift stores or anything back then. Never went to a thrift store, but we went to garage sales all the time. Garage sale left and right. I'm talking about mega garage sales here and there and everywhere. And I don't ever remember seeing anybody selling an Intellivision back then. Ever. And this was the Detroit suburb area, you know. Or even out in the outerways in Michigan a little bit. I bet now you probably could find some stuff. People were probably keeping hold of that stuff or just throwing it away back then. And this is one of the games I had for it originally. I had some of the Super Pro games, like Super Pro Basketball, Super Pro Hockey, Super Pro Football, Super Pro Decathlon. Super Pro Decathlon is probably the last major game that I originally owned that I still need to get. It's probably one of the games that helped destroy my controllers as well. You had to really do a workout with those controllers for Super Pro Decathlon. This game too. It tells you to kick out, to tap the disc repeatedly. I'm sure that isn't too healthy for your controller. Come on, Hogan! So who's Dr. Payne? Is that Dr. Death Steve Williams? I'm not sure who I used to use him as back then. This epic match. TNA quality, WWF quality match here. Yeah, nowadays people sim matches all the time. You know, it was always a big thing with the SmackDown series, the No Mercy series. People would just make a bunch of creative wrestlers and sim the matches and see who would win. Some people do that for like WrestleMania predictions. Or heck, they even do that for like Madden to determine who's going to win the Super Bowl. They'll sim the match. And besides this game, I've spent countless hours simming matches on all the wrestling games I had over the years. from WWF Attitude, and for the PS1 I had WrestleMania 2000, No Mercy, SmackDown Shut Your Mouth, and SmackDown 2006. I've probably spent countless hours, days, weeks, months, and years playing, creating wrestlers, and simming matches on all those games. I will admit, you know, I don't ever want to talk bad about the Intellivision controllers, but there are so many things to do with this game that it can be even a little bit confusing, even using the real Intellivision controller. It's real easy to get confused in this game and not run off in the direction you want to run off in. But you could say the same for games nowadays, you know. Sometimes running off to the ropes wasn't always the most precise thing. If I run out of time, I might have to call this one a draw. I still think that, as simple as this game is, it ranks up there with some of the best wrestling games of all time. Sure, it doesn't have finishers, which is something that would be nice. Because WCW Wrestling for the NES had finishers. It was a crappy game where it was mainly who can kick who first to get the lockup. So then you do a move, and you just wear the guy down. It was even with how crappy and simplistic the game was, WCW Wrestling was one of my favorites. Doing the finishers was one of the best things. And then there was Tecmo Wrestling for the NES. I had a lot of fun with that. I remember actually being able to beat that game. And WCW Wrestling, I beat that as well. And I never owned any wrestling games for my Genesis. Never owned a wrestling game for my Genesis back then. It wasn't until I got my PS1 and WWF Raw, and then the sequel, WWF Attitude. But then I got my Nintendo 64, and I sold my PS1 wrestling games. As soon as I played Revenge, could get all the friends together and play Revenge, Battle Royal, it was epic. Round 4. I can't remember how long the first video was because I didn't hit stop on it. So I think we're going to get to call this a draw. I could talk about wrestling games in general all day long. But this was an epic game. It's a must-have, and I recommend you guys play it someday. So this is Intellivision Dude, and thanks for watching.